What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys. I want to talk about coverages here to sort of help y'all out and let y'all know what's going on with these coverages, how the game plays it. So for the sake of not making this super complex, I'm in a spread Y flex, which means I'm in a doubles. I have two receivers to both sides and a running back. And so one thing I want to cover is coverages. So you have cover 0, which is man across the board. You have cover 1, which means there's one person deep. All these numbers mean how many people are deep, for example, aside from cover 6. But even then, it's still. But I'll talk about that. So cover 1 just means there's one person deep. Cover 2, there's 2 people deep. Cover 3, there's 3 people deep. Cover 4, there's 4 people deep. There is no cover 5. Cover 6, you're playing cover 2 to one side of the field and cover 1 to the other side of the field. So you're cutting the field in half. One safety is responsible for one side of the field. The other side of the field, you got 2 guys that are responsible, as you can see in the colored image there. Man blitz is just man blitz. Double man, they're just doubling a certain receiver. Zone blitzes are the same. You have zone blitz 2 deep, which means it's a cover 2 with zone blitz underneath. Zone blitz 3 deep just means you have 3 guys covering deep with zone blitzing underneath. Now, I don't think that's not difficult. Now, what's confusing people is they're lining up in cover 4 or cover 3, and then you don't have guys back covering, and then they say that zones are broken. Zones aren't broken in this game. It's very complex. They can be improved, don't get me wrong, but they're not broken. What's happening is people aren't understanding zone concepts. So there's a thing called match. You have man, you have zone, and you have match. Man is what you're gonna see in your cover 1s and your cover 2s. You're gonna see the concepts. Look in the bottom left. This is your concepts here. Man coverage. Okay, that means, yeah, you still got some zone. You got a person covering the hook and a person covering deep, but everybody else is in man. Cover 2, you're going to see zone, unless you go to what? Cover 2 man, which is a man coverage concept. All right. Cover 3, it's all zone. Cover 4 is all zone. Cover 6 is all zone. But the difference is when you look at the type of zone coverage. So, for example, you have cover 3 match, which is telling you it's match. Doesn't always say that, though. And then you have cover 3 sky, which is pure zone coverage. Okay. You can see in cover 3 match that the safety has sort of a hook to curl. It's in the grayish. It's grayed out purple because that person could be in man. It just depends. Your matches, guys, let me put it like this. Match coverage is essentially man within a zone. Okay, so, and I know that may sound like contradictory, but it's not. So when you look at your traditional zone coverage, let's say cover 4, your corners and your safeties are going to have deep. There's 4 guys in deep coverage. Now, if I go cover 4 match, look at it as, okay, let's go to it right. Cover 4. So cover 4 drop field. Okay. That compared to cover 4 palms is like this. Palms, they're going to be reading a particular receiver. Could be I've always taught palms to read the number 2 receiver, 2 to 1. Okay. Now some people read it 1 to 2. And what that means is I'm reading the number 2 receiver. If the number 2 receiver stays flat underneath, then if the linebacker, for example, cover 4 palms, the linebacker is going to have a lot of that, but how can I put this to simplify this? Think cover 4 palms is like, even though they have quarters, they're kind of man within whatever goes into that area, if that makes sense. So the corner, he has deep outside, but anything underneath outside, he may take that as well. But a lot of times he doesn't if the linebacker is able to get into the hook to curl area. If it crosses his face, he's going to take it. Drop field, however, is purely zone. So they're going to drop into their zone coverages no matter what happens underneath them. Okay, so you may say, okay, so when do I want to play match and when do I want to play zone? If it's if you are trying to protect the deep ball no matter what, then your flat out zones will be good. If you have a secondary that has good awareness and good play recognition, and they're pretty balanced between man and zone coverage, match can be your best friend, because you're gonna need some smart defensive backs in order to play match, because they're gonna have to have the awareness to be able to read these routes and be able to break off their coverage and jump these routes. Understand, match is kind of an in-between man and zone. It's not fully zone, it's not fully man, it's a hybrid of both. So the weakness of it is that it's going to take them time to get out of their zone and get into their man coverages, if that makes sense. Whereas if they're in man, they're on them all the time. Okay, so understanding that, let's just, you know, and then two, you have your different types of match coverages. Cover 4 quarters plays different than cover 4 palms. Okay, and palms is they're reading the number 2 receiver. And quarters is like, I've got this quarter of the field. Whoever's in my area in that quarter of the field is my guy. Okay, and we'll just showcase that. So let's start off with cover 4 drop field. Just as your basic zone coverage. Okay, I'm gonna just keep this for the sake of the video. Let's do out routes by number 1s, and then let's do vertical routes by the number 2 receivers. So if you don't know who the number 1 and number 2 receivers are, I have them highlighted here. Number 1 receiver is going to be a receiver close to the sideline. I have him highlighted. Number 2 is going to be the receiver closest to him. If you have a tight end on that same side, he can be treated as the number 3 receiver. And even with the running back and no tight end, some defenses do treat that running back as a number 3 receiver. If we're talking about strengths, for this particular formation, a lot of defenses will call this strong left. And I'm talking about the defense's left, not the offense's left. Strong left, strong left. Why? Because even though this formation is balanced, because the running back is on the right side, it unbalances the formation, and they'll call strength to that side. There are teams that, since the running back is opposite, they'll call strength to the other side, because a lot of your run plays out of gun goes opposite to the side that the running back is on. So with the running back being on the right side, then most run plays tend to go to that outside. Okay, let's move him back out. So let's go out routes by my number 1s, and let's go verticals by my number 2s. I picked the wrong plays, my bad. I pushed the wrong button. There we go. All right, so we're in palms. All right, what you're gonna see is the corners are they're gonna stay with the vertical, and they're gonna allow the linebackers and the other safety, because really this is nickel. So that third guy, look on the left side of the field, he's actually a secondary back. Okay, but your outside backer here on the right side, on top of the running back, he's gonna take the other hook to curl, and it'd be the same way if it was played in a 4-3. It'd be played the same way. So snap the ball, drop, bam, right there. Okay. So let's look at that in instant replay, and it's showcasing what's going on in the defense. All right. So to the nickel side, he's going to wall number 2. This is what they mean by walling. Okay, that right there. What he's doing, that's not him just standing around and running into the guy. His job is to wall number 2 and get underneath number 1. Or over the top of number 1. Okay, that's what he does here. By him walling number 2, he's allowing the safety time to read, time to get open, and it's slowing up number 1. Now, you don't see this happen on this side because he's not head up with that guy. Okay, he just gets underneath the number 2 receiver. Okay, and then your outside lineman here gets underneath, kind of drops a little bit right there. Okay, he takes care of the He takes care of that hook to curl. Actually, this is your backer. This must be out of the 4-2-5. Yeah, this is out of 4-2-5. My bad, guys. My bad, guys. Okay. All right, so let me go back. Let me make sure. Okay, so I'm going back. Let's just do all goes. Same concept here. Okay, so it is out of 4-2-5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that was a backer right there. That's what I wasn't paying attention to. So 4 down linemen. Okay, you have your 2 backers, and then you have your 5 secondary backs. So this is Palms coverage. Now, if we leave number 1 on verticals, and let's say number 2 is running out routes here, what you're going to see is the corners are going to jump the out routes. Snap the ball, bump, bump, bump. See how they drop, and then they go and I'm taking the sack on purpose so you can see these routes develop. So first play, number one ran in the flats, number 2 ran vertical. This is the way that we teach Palms. You are reading 2 to 1. If number 2 stays vertical, okay? If number 2 stays vertical, then the corner's job is to get underneath number 2. He can still drop. But understand, since the linebackers in this particular coverage have hooked a curl, then the corners to those sides, they're not necessarily just going to jump those out routes unless the ball is thrown, because it's zone coverage, it's not man, okay? So now with the inside receivers, the number 2 receivers running out routes, what you're seeing is the corners dropping, and then once that route is established, bam, okay? But see the hesitation right there. They get on top of the number 2 receivers, okay? Because that's their job in Palms. And then it leaves the safeties one-on-one, okay? Covering deep, all right? So next play, all right? Let's do 4 verts, but let's motion over to trips. Trips left. Notice the corners come down, but they're still in his zone coverage. Okay, we're going to run 4 verts right here from this concept. Okay, what you are going to notice is this backside safety is going to come over to help cover the trips. Snapping the ball, see he drifts, he goes to that side, and you really create a one-on-one right there. Okay, so even though it's cover 4, they still sort of have those man concepts. Same thing, let's motion him to this side. Okay. I don't know why they switched. That really wasn't necessary, but anyway. Check, check. See that right there? The safety, after they motioned over for whatever reason, I don't know why they really didn't have to do that. The nickel, that's what it was. The nickel had to go to that side. He's dropping. Look on the left side here. He sees. Y'all talk about the defense having awareness, bro. Look at this. He's dropping. He sees that he has that. And he notices a vertical threat by number 3. So he goes over to help play the middle of the field there. Okay? They know what's going on. The defense is not busted. The zones aren't messed up. You just got to understand the coverages. Okay? Move the running back over. That's not going to do anything if I move the running back over. So we're in Palms. All right, let's put the inside receiver. Let's put him on a, let's do a curl. Okay. All right, yeah, let's do an 8. That's what, an 8, 10-yard curl? That's good gracious. All right, and let's see how they play this on that side. Backer hits, he walls, and then he gets back underneath that. Okay. So right here, there's, like I said, there's still key in number 2. But he walls them. Look right here. This is really the safety's job right here. You see, this is why the safety isn't just bailing out. You notice the safety's dropping, and then right there, he walls them. He kind of sits on that curl route. Now, if I had threw that curl, he would have stayed with it. But with the backer right there, the backer's job is to get back underneath that curl route, and the number 1 covers the deep route. Why? Because they're in a cover 4. At the end of the day. So the most important threat is not this freaking curl route, it's deep. And this is the issue that we used to the issue that we had with high school kids trying to teach them match coverage is at the end of the day. I always used to tell my guys, when in doubt, cover the deep route, because you can't go wrong with that. Yeah, we want to jump those routes when necessary, and this is what I would tell my guys. Like this safety right here, he did this perfectly. The ball didn't come out, so hey, I want to continue to cover deep. Now, if that ball comes out, I want to jump that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to jump that route if that ball ain't out. Now, and I'm going to do the same thing now, and I'm going to throw that route. Okay, so put triangle. My number 2, let's put him on a curl. And I'm going to throw it this time. Quarterback drops back. Sits. Safety had already committed deep. His back was turned. So you're going to say there's no way for him to have, why he didn't cover that? Because how in the hell is he going to know that that ball was in the air? I didn't throw the ball until he already committed. Right there, his back was turned, and that ball is coming out as soon as his back is turned. He doesn't know that that ball is there. If he had played that, then we could say that this game is broken. No eyes, no pick right there. All right, so let's do it this time before he commits to turning his back. Does he jump it? See, right there. He sees it, and he jumps it. Okay, so that lets you know that the defense is aware. Now, let's put triangle on a slant route. All right, and let's put number 1 on an out route. Let's see how they play this in palms. All right. So what you're going to see is very similar situation to where it was whenever we put number 2 on a vertical and number 1 on the out. The hook the curl guy is still going to have that. Now, what he does, notice how he goes to wall this guy. But he's not able to wall him because he goes too far inside. He doesn't continue to push vertical. All right, guys, this is showing you that this defense is smart. This is textbook, okay? Because what we teach our guys, we teach them, and at the high school level, is if he goes inside, like, yes, that guy's job is to wall number 2. But guys, there are times when that's just not possible, because what you would do is, okay, if he is pushing inside, we don't want him running. We don't want him running with him to try to wall him inside, because that's leaving this even more open. Does that make sense? And so he realizes he's stemming inside. He's not pushing vertical no more. I'm not going to be able to wall him. Let me get to my coverage. Okay. Because if I throw this, yeah, this is open. This is open. I know people are going to say, but that's open, DM. Yes. But understand, what coverage are we in? 4. So what are we trying to prevent? The deep ball. So you are going to give up short passes in order to prevent them from passing deep, because at the end of the day, your job is to cover deep. All right. So his job is to basically, if he had ran 5 yards and cut in, he would have walled him and passed him off to this middle linebacker. That's where he goes. That's who picks him up. Okay. We still got vertical concepts on the back side of this, or on the play side of it, rather. See, he's able to wall him. Okay. He doesn't wall him to the hash. This guy's going to wall him to the numbers. And then they cover deep. He drops into his zone. Okay. So now I want to do that same concept. Let's put him on a slant. Okay. But let's extend this route. Can I push it up? Oh, man, they won't even let me extend it. I can't extend it, I guess. The custom stem doesn't work with that one. Okay. Oh, yeah, it does. I was pushing the wrong button. All right, so right here, let's see what should happen. The backer should wall him. Okay, let's put square on that out route. And then you should have the corners covering, helping out with that post. Now, he doesn't wall him right there. He just gets to it. But the corners still help with the post, because that's somebody deep. Now, what I was wanting to see was that backer going to wall him and then get underneath that. Boom, boom, boom. But he doesn't. He doesn't wall him at all, which is... that could be the game, just knowing what route he's running, because it doesn't make sense. He should have walled him, but he doesn't. So for sake of just showing you what I'm talking about, I'm gonna keep him on the same concept. Actually, let's put him on the post route this time. Put him on the post. Actually, that's what he was on to begin with. Let's put him on the in route. Let's put him on the in. Okay. Let's extend this in route. Okay. Oh, that's because I didn't put square on the out route right there. But he played that. He played that really well. He just stayed with it because there was no out route. Does that make sense? Okay, triangle. Let's move that up, and then let's put square on an out route. All right. Okay, he doesn't wall him that time. All right, let's extend it a little bit more. Triangle on the in route. Let's stem it. Leave us here. Let's push it up a little bit more, and let's put him on an out route. Now he's gonna probably have to collision that route. Okay, there he goes. So he collisions it. Perfect. That's textbook. So when the collision happens, if the route breaks off, okay, he goes 5. If he goes vertical, that much vertical, he's gonna wall him and then get underneath. If you know that they're playing this, you can use that to your advantage, because you know that if he goes vertical for a certain period of time, that nickelback is going to wall him. He's going to be walled, and that's going to open up time for the number 1 receiver to run those out routes. Okay, so y'all are understanding here. It's cover 4, it's palms, but at the end of the day, Bob, at the end of the day, when in doubt, cover the deep route. Okay, now that's with number 2 running verticals inside. Now the corner is responsible for number 2 if number 2 goes outside. Okay, that's why if we put the number 2 receivers on an out route, or let's even put them on a comeback this time, how do they play the comeback? Where is it at? Comeback. Deep cross. Oh, damn, you can't run a comeback, I guess. Speed out, streak in, curl, drag, slant, post, corner, short cross, I guess return. No. I wanted to put him on a comeback. Let's put number 1 on a comeback. It's crazy to put number 1 on it, but not number 2. And let's put number 2 vertical. Let's see how they play the comeback with the vertical. Okay. So we see right there on the comeback vertical combination that the corner, same thing as cover 4. So I want to protect anything deep. I'm there. He's dropping. He's still, look, he's still pushing vertical. So he's got to stay vertical, but then he cuts it down. Corner knows that backer can't get to that. So he sits on that route. Okay. So let's do the same thing. Let's do another comeback. Okay. But this time let's stem it. Let's make it shorter and see how they play it. That's as short as I can make it. Keep triangle on the vertical. Let's see how the corner plays it this time. Boy, I tell you, this defense, people talking about the coverages are broken, bro. No way. This is y'all just not knowing what coverages y'all picking. Y'all need to learn how this stuff works. So this time he ran a comeback. Understand, cover 4, his job is to cover deep, right? This time the comeback is short. It's underneath, it's 5, I would say it's underneath 8 yards, or let's say under 10. It's under 10. Line of scrimmage, he goes about 6 yards and cuts it down. Look at the corner. You see what he did? Look at the corner right here. What did he do? He pointed to the backer, telling him, you got that. Watch this. See that? The little hand motion right there? Tell him, hey, man, you got that. Unless his arm just swinging. That's just arm swinging. Yeah, that's his arm swinging. Never mind. But he does. The linebacker has this. The corner doesn't have this. Why? Because he's still dealing with the vertical threat from the number 2 receiver. Their job is to cover vertical. Okay? That is up until a certain limit, because notice what his hook to curl coverage is. The corner knows his hook to curl is, I would say, 5 to 8 yards deep. That's why when we put them on an out route, okay, notice where that out route cuts. It's about 5 to 6 yards deep. This is why when we put number 2 on the out route, that corner jumps that out route. See that? He jumps it because that's at 5 yards. It's at the borderline point for the linebacker's hook to curl to take effect. So let's put him on another out route, and to really show you what I'm talking about, let's extend this out route up to 10 yards. So he's gonna go up from the line. I'm going from the line of scrimmage, 5. He's going about 8 yards, slanting to 10, and then going out. What you're gonna see is the corner still take it, but he's more aggressive on it this time. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why is because where did the linebacker go on his hook to curl? The corner knows that or not the linebacker, keep saying the linebacker, the coverage guy, the safety right here, his hook to curl is 5 yards. Okay, that 5 yard mark, he drops, he's not going past 10. From his vantage point, from the line of scrimmage, he's not going to go further than 10. So anything that pushes that boundary, the corner's going to take it. See how he sits right here? He drops, the corner drops. My only thing is that right here, the corner should have jammed him. He should have gave him a little something in order for that safety to get over the top. But he doesn't. He sits on it, and they're sitting underneath that. So you can see how it's cover 4, but if something attacks outside of that backer, past 5 yards, that corner's going to get on it. And it's the same way. If you put this number 2 on a, can I put him on a corner route? No, I can't put him on a corner route. Yeah, I can. Corner route. Let's put him on a corner route. What you're going to see is the corner and the safety drop, and the corner's going to take the corner route. Yeah, no, the safety took it. Okay, so now that's opening up something different. Why did the safety take the corner route and not the vertical? So the way we teach palms is, I wish you could bring up the play art here. The way we teach palms is if both of them go vertical past 8 yards, this becomes your man. This is his man right here. They are man to man at this point because both of them has pushed vertical past 8 yards. So now this becomes the safety's man. So I take that back. They played that absolutely how you were supposed to play that. The safety is supposed to take that corner route, okay? Because that's how you play it. They're reading the number 2 receiver, guys. In palms, they are reading the number 2 receiver. Anything over 8 yards, hey, and to insinuate that, let's put him on a curl route, okay? I'm going to put him on a curl route. Look at where that curl route is hitting, okay? Now understand, okay? Well, actually, we did that already. What happens is the safety is going to kind of sit on that curl route, but then he's going to stay with the vertical if I don't throw the ball. So let's just put him back on the go route. I want you to pay attention to how the safety plays this number 2 receiver. Okay. See, he's reading number 2. All right. Now let's do the curl route. See, they're reading number 2. What he notices is that backer is able to get underneath that curl route in time for him to say, okay, he's got that taken care of. Let me go help out with number 1. And what you end up with, you might say, oh, the safety's wrong. No, this is good because now you have somebody over the top of number 1 and you have somebody underneath. Okay, so now let's do the curl route and let's do an out route. Okay, so what you notice is nobody covers deep. Nobody goes deep because they don't have a vertical threat, okay? But this is the most vertical route, so that's why you see the corner and the safety sitting on that, okay? And then what do you see to the other side? They're playing their traditional palms because they got 2 vertical threats, so both of them stay deep. So, guys, this is the difference. I'm going to run these same concepts out of a regular cover 4, and you're going to see the difference. Match is different. Match is like a zone man type of concept, okay? So now I want to put number 1 receiver on a curl, and let's put number 2 on an out route, okay? Bam. Textbook. They played that perfect. So let's look and see how they ended up playing that. Number 2, remember they're both reading number 2 in palms. Number 2 goes vertical, he hits out. That's the corner's responsibility. So what does the corner do? He jumps number 2. And so the way we teach palms is if number 2 runs, we teach it 5 yards and under that the corner takes him. But here he's clearly going more than 5 and under. Different defense coordinators are going to teach it different ways, but the corner is responsible for this. And then the safety, since the corner's taking number 2, the safety takes number 1. And this is why you do that, because you can say, well, why didn't the safety, why didn't they just stay vertical on that? No, because now look, if number 2 was to run a wheel route, that corner's in position to take that, or an out and up, then the corner's in position to take that. And it puts the safety right on top of number 2. And then, like I said, backside, you still see them playing. They got verticals, so they play that the same. All right. Now, I don't know if I can put him on, let's see, deep cross. I don't want to put him on the deep cross. short cross. Backer's gonna pass him off and a zig route. No. Zig route. The linebacker's gonna take that. The corner's gonna stay deep with number 1. Okay. All right. So let's review this real quick. Okay. So if I got 2 verticals, if everybody's running vertical, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have the linebacker drop. He's gonna wall number 1, and he's gonna wall the number 2 receiver, and the corner and the safety are gonna be covering deep. Each receiver. Corner's gonna have number 1, safety's gonna have number 2. Okay. If I put number 1 on an out route, okay, the linebacker or that nickel back is going to wall that receiver, the number 2 receiver, and then he's going to get on top of the out route. And guys, I know you're gonna say, well, what's the hardest route to throw in football? It's the out route. It's the furthest pass to make in football. So that backer's gonna have time. Matter of fact, I'll just show you. Snap the ball, drop back. See that? That ball takes time to get there. Okay. Let's do it again because I kind of waited to throw it, and I know people are gonna say, "Oh, you just waited to throw it. That's why it took so long." I'll throw it at the snap. I get the ball, throw the out route. See, the time it takes him to catch it, the safety is still there. Now, the same concept happens on the other side as well, guys. If I put circle my number 1 receiver on an out route, okay, you're still going to see now that's a backer on that side, on the right side by the running back. He's still going to wall that guy and then get underneath the out route, okay? God dang, that's beautiful that they're playing that how they're playing that, okay? Now, let's throw a wrinkle in there. Let's put the running back on a go route, okay? And I can't move him. I can only move him from side to side. I can't put him out. Oh, yeah, I can put him out wide. Now, he's on a vertical. Now I have 4 verts. How are they going to play this? Let's see. Okay. They played that perfectly. If the backer doesn't have a threat into the backfield, he has to stay vertical. Guys, that is absolutely how we teach that. And in our palms, if it goes to a trips, especially with the running back, what we check to is what we call rows. And rows tells that backer, yeah, if you don't have anybody, or this is just regular concepts, really. If this receiver wasn't here, this safety would be responsible for, like, here. He would shift here and they would cover deep. But since he has somebody, now the backer is taught, if you don't have anybody in the flats, you got to run with that. And that's what he does. He stays with that because there's nobody in the flats. So, dude, coverages are not broken. You just don't understand coverages. That is match for you. It's a zone type of man. Now, what I'm going to do is showcase you regular zone coverage. We're going to run these same concepts, okay, and see how they play it. So, out routes by the number 2 receivers, verticals by number 1. All right, notice the difference. What do you see? Now, you got all day to throw the football. God dang. Okay, what you saw right there was a beautiful thing. Remember last time when we ran match, okay, and the number 2 ran out. He ran vertical. He ran the out route. The corner jumped that. This time the corner doesn't because he playing a zone. He's got zone. So, guys, y'all have to understand these match coverages, okay? So, cover 3, let's go cover 3 because cover 4 is pretty simple, okay? Let's do a cover 3 match, okay? And we'll just literally run cover 3 match, okay? Same concept. This time I'm putting him on the out route. Snap the ball, boom, boom, boom. Corner stays with it. They got that, okay? Cover 3 match is going to behave a little bit differently because you only have one, your other safety is playing down, okay? So backside of that, let's look at the backside because play side right here, we ran out route. Now in cover 4, the corner took this. On this one, there's nobody for him to pass. Since the safety is so far in the middle of the field, there's no reason for him to wall this guy and get underneath. So he could just play over the top of that. Corner stays deep. He's got deep. Okay. Now, play side on the other side here with this vertical threat now, because we're in match, this guy has to run with the number 2 receiver because he's going vertical. Okay. So next play, let's put both of them on out routes. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. They stay with him. Okay. And then you got the safety covering that deep middle of the field. So match behaves differently. Now let's put one on out routes, and let's leave number 2 vertical. Okay. Now the corners take those out routes. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful thing right there, isn't it? Okay. Beautiful thing right there, isn't it? Okay. And you can guess that by how it plays, because now the corner doesn't have that safety to his side. In cover 4 match, there were 2 safeties up high. You don't really have that now. Okay. You're losing a guy into the box in cover 3. And so now there's nobody, you got that high safety, but because of the concept, now you're basically playing 2-to-1. You're reading 2-to-1 with these guys. That's what it turns into, guys. This is what it turns into. Now they're playing 2-to-1. So anybody that goes out, okay, because number 2, they're reading number 2. Number 2 stays vertical past 5. That's why you see the corner stalling right there. He's trying to make sure that guy goes past 5. He does. And so now I jump the number 1 guy. All right. And they do it on both sides. Now the players that are reading 2-to-1 is the walk down safety. Okay. Instead of it being 2 safeties on the roof, and then you're having that backer reading 2-to-1. Now you have the safety walk down reading 2-to-1. Okay. And this is what we used to call buzz. Okay, so now let's put them on curl routes. All right, verticals. So I can already tell you the corners are going to cover vertical, and the safeties right here are going to cover the curl routes. Okay, see, they sit on the curl, they push vertical, middle safety stays middle. Now let's put number 1 on the curl routes and number 2 on verticals. Okay, see what I mean? All right. You may think, oh, wait, didn't those safeties, didn't this guy have, didn't the backer or the safety right here, these are safeties, didn't he have, wasn't he supposed to have a hook to curl, which is here? So why did he stay with him? Because that's what match coverage is. Number 2 pushes past 5, so that's his responsibility. He has to stay with it. He has to stay with it. Which means since he pushed past 5, the corner has to take number 1. Okay. Number 1 sits, I sit on it. Only reason he doesn't continue to run with this vertical is because on both sides, you've got a safety that's helping out deep middle. And that is his job. Now he's reading the shoulders and the eyes of the quarterback. If the quarterback wants to commit to this side, he can break to it. If the quarterback wants to commit to this side, he can break to it. Okay. So let's do this. Let's put number 2 on a curl route, but let's shorten that distance. Okay. So what you're going to see now, because remember last time, okay. Actually, no, let's put him on a vertical. No, because if he goes vertical, then he's going to have to stay with him. Yeah. Let's put square. Let's put the number 1 receiver on the curl. Okay. And let's shorten this curl route. Okay. Right there. Okay. Same concept. Why does the safety run deep with that? He doesn't have deep. Remember, we're in cover 3. The corner's supposed to have deep, but we're also in match. Okay. Because number 2 stays vertical past 5, number 1 is responsible for that. The corner is responsible for that. So now let's do this. Let's put number 2 on a curl, and let's shorten this curl route. Okay. So now what you're going to see is now this safety is going to take that curl route. Actually, I think the safety will. Safety takes that curl route right there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that time the safety sat on it like he was supposed to. So they are playing cover 3 match, but it's as you can see, it's kind of like a man thing. So let's put the number 2 on a slant route. Okay. Now what this safety is going to do to that slant, he's going to pass that off to that middle backer. Okay. And then if we put number 1 on a curl, you'll see how that plays out. He passes him, stays with him. Corner's got that guy. Okay. Let's keep it flat. Slant and the vertical. Corner's going to stay with the vertical. He's going to ride that. He doesn't have an out threat, so he stays with it. Now let's do the same thing. This time, let's put the running back. Let's put the running back on a out route. Actually, let's do this first. Let's move him to this side. Okay. Now let's put him on. Let's do a swing route. So swing left. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna tell you how I would teach my guys to play this route. The safety on top of number 2, pass him to the middle linebacker and take the swing route. They don't do that. They switch. That is terrible. I would not have switched that. I would not have switched that at all. Because understand, let's go back to the play art so you can see why I'm saying that. So the play art, we were on cover 3 sky, okay? You see the purple. Oh no, we were on match. We're on match. Match. You see that purple? That is a walk down safety. It's a 4-2-5. So that's a safety. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The purples are your safeties. You got 2 corners and 3 safeties. Okay, your safeties are playing that purple spot. Your backers are playing the yellow. They're playing the hook because that safety should have that hook to curl. He should have had that route. He should have had that route, but they didn't play it like that. The safety right here, what he should have did with this back coming out in the flats, he should have passed him off to that middle backer and then let that running back, he should have passed this off to the middle backer and then he should have got off and took that. I mean, it's not wrong. They can switch, that's fine. But to me, that would have made it easier because now look, he's in a trail position. Okay. So back to cover 3 match, even if we do both sides, we're going to clear out those safeties. Or we're going to clear out these backers. We're going to put them on a speed out. Okay, and then see that backer sits. Okay, let's put triangle on a speed out.
Pound 55 weak. Hornet.
And see, he stays with it that time. Yeah, that's my only thing. With the running back going out like that, I would have personally rode him, passed him off to the middle backer, and then took the running back. That's what I would have done. But I hope this is making sense to y'all. You know what I'm saying? In match, you just have to understand. Now, cover 3 match is played a lot simpler, but you don't want to cover 3 when you got so many receivers out there. You're just covering deep, man. If you got good safeties that can cover and stuff like that, you definitely want to put them out there in those situations to help out and stuff. But, man, at the end of the day, they're reading the number 2 receiver, and they're going to play number 1. So hopefully this helps. Like I told y'all, the coverages in this game is not broken. You just got to know what the heck you picking, okay? If it's zone, they're going to play zone no matter what. But in match, you need to know your match players because cover 3 match is played different than your cover 4 match, okay? In cover 4, okay, your match is between it's always the safeties. It's always the safeties, okay? Your match is really, well, actually, really, it's going to be the backer, really, is going to be your match guy. Between the corner and the match guy, which in cover 4, it's going to be your outside backer, okay? That's why he's going to take out routes and stuff like that. And then in cover 3, it becomes your, it becomes the safety, between the corner and the safety, okay? Between the corner and the safety. And really in cover 4, one of those guys are going to be a safety, okay? Understand that. But in cover 4 palms, it's not. You're still dealing with an outside backer. So we used to call that, we called buzz, which was our match with the safety. And then rodeo was whenever we would do like our match coverage with the linebacker. So understand personnel. If you have a backer that cannot cover, I wouldn't run cover 4 palms or quarters. I would run cover 3. Depending on the formation. This is out of the 4-2-5. This is what Oklahoma's defense runs. So out of 4-2-5, 5 secondary guys on the field, 2 safeties. You got 2 safeties, 2 corners, 2 backers. You have 5 secondary guys. I'm sorry, 5 secondary guys. So on one side of the field, you are gonna have like a nickel style guy, which is fine, but understand your personnel, okay? But on the other side of that, yes, you are going to have a linebacker. that is going to be helping in coverage, in the cover 4 palms. In cover 3, it's still out of the 4-2-5, but since you have 3 guys deep, you have your corners playing deep, a safety playing deep. Now you do have 2 safeties that are going to be doing your match coverage. In cover 4, okay, because that other safety is deep now, your match coverage on one side is going to be with the linebacker. Just understand that going in. You know what I'm saying? It's all about positioning. It's all about personnel. So if you're going to run that cover 4, even out of a nickel, because out of a nickel, you're going to have those 5 guys on the field. On one side, yes, it's going to be between a safety and a corner, but on the other side, it's going to have a linebacker having the cover in that match concept. So understanding that, I hope that makes sense to understand personnel, guys. The secondary is not broken. You just have to understand the defenses that you're picking. And I like I said, I don't think a lot of people understand the defenses that they're picking because they just see cover 4 and pick cover 4. Or they just see quarters and pick quarters. Because guess what? Quarters doesn't behave the same way that palms does. You know, cover 4 quarters, it's like match, but it's deeper. Okay, they're not covering nothing underneath, but if something comes into their area, they're manned up on it. So it's a looser it's a looser palms. Think of it like that. Palms is very tight in the instance. Cover 4 quarters is the same way, but it's a deeper zone for them to interact with, if that makes sense. So I hope this makes sense, guys. If you got any questions, man, let me know in the comment section down below. I can try to respond in the comments to give you a little bit more insight on it. But I hope that this helps, man. So when next time you're going through your defenses and you're picking cover 4 palms and you're wondering, hey, why is the guy not deep? Why is it, that's why. You just got to understand concepts and things like that. And we can break this down further in another video. How they line up to trips, how they play quads and stuff like that. If y'all are interested to know that as well. So, guys, that's all I got for right now. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.